Hey, what's happening, everybody? So I am still in Key West. I ended up not making as much money as I thought I would, so I'm staying here to find work before I take off. Luckily, the weather has been cooling down quite a bit, and Howie Rule's hooking me up with his outdoor shower on his van. It's actually kind of a pretty cool setup. So I got hot showers now. I'm just out looking for work, and it turns out like almost all of South Florida is this packed, from what I understand, at least from the people I've talked to. So I'm gonna have to go like northern Florida to get away from all the people. But once I get up there, it's getting down to like 30 at night, so it's getting down like below freezing. I don't like below freezing, so there is no middle ground. I either have to be hot and crowded, or I guess warm and crowded, or cold and might not have as good of luck finding a job. So I'm just going to hang out down here for a couple months, or maybe a month. I don't know. It depends on how much money I have and where I figure out to go, and take off. But I wanted to include my update with a video request, because there's only like so much I can elaborate on this idea. I didn't want to make a whole video out of it. But I got a request for a video about how I explore a new town. So I'm going to talk about that now. The old way I used to do it was I just show up in a town and just drive around until I find a place to sleep and find a place that looks hip. I still kind of do that sometimes, but the main way I do it is I get on Google. Look at this guy's cockatoo. I love birds. I held a big-ass macaw out here the other day. It was really cool. She was really nice. So the new way I do it is I get online and I figure out what the safe part of town is and where the interesting or the hip or the cool part of town is. And then around that, I look up on Google Maps where that is, and then I find a good place to park, to sleep, and to just like park my van and take my bike out and walk around or whatever. And then I go straight there and explore and make sure that it is in fact a good place to sleep overnight. And if it's not, then I find somewhere else. Having a safe place to sleep is always my first priority. And sometimes it takes a couple hours, so I make sure that I have it like beforehand. Most of the time, it's just like I just find a place, like bam, it's easy. But sometimes it's not. So I like to have that figured out ahead of time. And that's kind of it, and then I get on Google Maps and figure out where the hip, cool part of town is, and then I go there and I hang out and I explore, and that's really it. I mean, like I said, there's only like so much I can say about this. If anybody has any questions, I'm really not sure. It's hard, like when you know things like this, to like forget that, like, or man, I don't even know how to explain this. Like you've thought about something so much, or you've experienced something so much, you don't realize what things aren't obvious to other people who haven't experienced the same things you've experienced. So it's kind of hard for me sometimes. So if you guys have any questions about that, I would absolutely love to elaborate on it more. But that's really all I got. So yeah, that's that. I'm in Key West. I'm hanging out for a while. And, I found a bunch more places that are hiring, so I'm kind of just in the process of turning in applications, and I'm going to head down to the docks probably tomorrow and just, like, try to find some sailboat captains or something to let me clean their ships or do something. I don't know. I really like boats, and I'd like to know more about boats, so I think it'd be really cool to work with boats. But, yeah, that's it, man. So, love yourself. Woo!